Hi, gorgeous mama. I'm Kathleen, your mom friend, right beside you on this messy, beautiful, and sometimes exhausting journey of motherhood. I don't have it all figured out, but let's play, ground, and grow together. Hi, mama. It's your mom friend, Kathleen. Ready to dive into today's journey? It's a more personal episode. It's kind of a peek behind the curtain and a little bit of where everything began. I want to share this journey with you so you can see, yeah, actually what my intention is and where my business started, but also I know how lonely the road felt at stages. And I just wanted you to feel you're never, ever alone. So let's get started. um, just imagine you're pregnant and you're giving birth to your first child. You're excited and you have all these dream and visions how it's going to be with your new baby. And your baby comes. And we're not talking birth here. That's another story. And then your child starts to scream and scream and scream, crying nonstop pretty much, no sleep. And you're thinking, how on earth am I gonna survive this? That was me when I hold my firstborn in my arms. I loved my baby from the moment I saw him and already in the belly, but I would have never ever imagined how my child could unroot me. And I remember still like it was yesterday, it's many years ago, that the hospital nurse commented and she said, I hope you got nerves out of steel with that one. I talked a little bit with her and she said she has seen babies like that before, but luckily they're not coming too many along because they're tough. And this is what you need to imagine, kind of where it all started, where everything kind of in a way broke together. This whole picture of how I imagined my parental leave, how I imagined my time with my baby, and then also how I imagined giving my child to daycare and going back to work. But how it turns out, I was carrying a baby nonstop in a sling. It was the only place my baby would find a little bit of peace and sleep. Sleepless nights, literally, he would wake up every single hours. I would walk all the time trying to find the most remote spots because just the dog barking would wake him up and put him in another fit. I was overwhelmed, I was tired, and of course, I was looking for solutions. And then someone mentioned and told me, have you ever checked if your child is a highly sensitive baby? And so I, of course, started Googling and searching, and I'm not a big fan of labeling, but that label at that moment in time actually gave me an explanation because my child actually fitted almost all of the how do you say, all the traits you find on highly sensitive kids. And it also made then sense, that feeling of loneliness, because I was comparing with myself to all these people, who sit in a cafe and have coffee and their baby sleeps in the pram next to them. And I couldn't do any of that. It was impossible for me. And I was like, am I doing something wrong? No, my baby was just a little bit differently wired. And as I didn't have problems breastfeeding. So there was a lot of that was really good and working well, which I know others people mothers exchange, and every baby has their own perks. So, but here I found the label, and I don't want to stick too much to it, but I kind of got an explanation, and reading about it kind of started to make a lot of sense. And this whole time period where something broke open in me, I had to completely change, or I like, my podcast is called Wildly Rooted. So something enrooted me. I felt like this tree just ripped out of the ground, and nothing that made sense from how it was before made sense anymore. And that's where really like I was interested a lot already in like manifestation and Reiki, and I was reading a couple of parenting books, but now I had to find new tools because nothing made sense to me anymore. So I was then actually starting to use Reiki, learning Reiki, teaching, no, not teaching. I learned Reiki to use it mostly for me and my child. I dived all into manifestation, read parenting books, but for actually not the ones I bought before I had the baby. Uh, but yeah, now we're back to this a little bit more about sensitive baby and also sleep, understanding really what's happening in the brains of babies. Uh, and a lot of what I started to read started to make a bit more sense of just more this rational, this is how it's supposed to be. And I started using mindset tools. I had to ground and anchor me. I had to use these little moments in between where things were peaceful to get enough energy for who knows how long I had to walk next again. I think this was the time when I truly realized that the real shift isn't around me. I won't find it there. There is no quick fix. There is not a doctor who could give me a pill to solve the situation, as weird as it sounds. Or, I had to go within and I needed to have the tools to go within. Um, I think what made this period really, really special, I think it put me in touch with who I actually truly were. I needed to find my way because when you get the advice, particularly when you have this newborn baby and you get the advice like, oh, it has to scream, it's good for their lungs and all of this stuff, and everything in you goes, no. And then when I dived in and read and learned, I actually felt like I got actually confirmation that where we are today, where we have the research, a lot of the knowledge we're still told from, let's say, older generations or what they told the younger generations, and then it's told to you by friends and stuff like that, isn't really correct anymore. And it was also to really, really learn your instincts when I was like, no, it's not okay that my child needs to scream on the floor by itself for a long time to stretch his lung. It felt wrong, and later on I learned it is wrong. So I had to start to truly listen to my voice and my feelings. And this made this whole period as exhausting and as tiring and depleting it was into something really, really magical because I had to figure out, in many ways, who am I? Which new roots do I want to create or grow? I had to find my values. What is so important to me, and how can I integrate it into this kind of really messy life and this early, it was particular, the first year was crazy. Uh, And I think this is where I started growing new roots. And I wanted them to be much stronger because I wanted to always trust myself and kind of like, what's his name? Who sings this song? I don't remember right now. I do it my way. This I know who it is, but now it's gone. Okay. Anyway, so I'll do it my way. I had to build strong roots. Here we go. Wildly rooted. Here we are today. And this inner journey to really understand where it comes from, and also then of course to let the old stories go because it was still like these stories nagging in my head how it was supposed to be and how things should work out differently, and to really be content with what is and also embrace and love the situation what is and trust myself that I can do it no matter how tired I was. So, to help me make better choices that worked for me and my family, that made me feel still alive, and this inner knowing this is the right thing to do. And of course, if you're that tired, you have to learn to live in the moment. I couldn't plan any more weeks ahead. I had to actually land here, trust, soften, and be present. And from where I come from, kind of very career focused and driven, that was very, very new to me. So another picture is this, maybe yin and yang or male and female energy. I was always very on the rational, like male driven energy. And now I had to kind of completely turn 180 degrees and start to be soft. And there, in that moment, actually, my business was born. There was something in me saying, A, I don't want to return to an 8 to 4 job. I don't want to go back to hustling and having my child in full-time daycare. And there are others out there who are searching, trying to find the truth. And I want to help other mothers navigate this path. Maybe that they don't need to feel as lonely as I have. This crafting connection in a world that is actually so disconnected, and it's fostering disconnection with our babies, with ourselves, with nature, with parenting partners. I truly want to be your cheerleader, your wise owl, your mirror, and the one telling you, even on the hard days, you can do it and you can find your way. No one else's way. Not my way, not your neighbor's way, not your friend way. No, your way. And I feel this is kind of my superpower. It's literally shifting perspective and helping actually others find peace, joy, and alignment and figuring out what their way is. So I hope you joined the background story, and I can just invite you to join the community, subscribe to the podcast, sign up for the newsletter. There's a challenge soon coming, so I'm really excited about this in August. And before you go, I have one last tool for you. Um, it's a tool you have heard before, so you're going to hear it again, but maybe not just listening to it and put it to the side, but let it sink in and try it a few times. And it is breathing. My go-to tool is always the breath, breathing deeply in and out. It has saved me in so many situations in parenting and helped me always to make better decisions. Because when I feel safe and grounded, and through the breath we can achieve that, I am a better person and can make better decisions. And all you need to do is just hold on and focusing on your breath, just to feel it maybe to start with. You're going to go a step deeper, trying to deepen the breath. Count 4 in, on 6 out. Let's do one breath together. 4, 3, 2, 1. In and slowly out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do a few of these and start how you arrive in your body again. How you feel okay. You feel safe. And from there, go about your day with a little bit more strength and joy. And as always, from one wildly rooted mama to another, let's keep growing and glowing together.